Now, before I answer, I want you to look at the contrast between his response to this question. Do you support reparations for African Americans? When he asked the identical question, do you support reparations? She used the word compensation, financial compensation, just to be clear. That means writing them a check to these illegal immigrants because they were separated from their parents. He said, absolutely. Not only that, but we should give them a free, 85-inch big screen TV, give them free housing, food stamps, and free college and everything else. He didn't say all that, but that's his attitude because they've been so wrong. We need to compensate them. Now we're talking about a much more egregious wrong. Black Africans did not sneak into this country at the border and get separated from their parents. They went over to Africa and got them and separated them from their parents. Or maybe I should say they went over there and got you and separated you from your parents and sold you at will like you were livestock and cattle. And this went on for decades and decades, hundreds of years. He was so quick to answer the question. Oh yeah, let's give these me no speaker English people a check. When it comes to your black asses, watch what he has to say.
I support H.R. 40, which is the bill that has been proposed in Congress to establish a commission to look at reparations. But
he didn't say, yes, I support giving them a check at the same time we give these Latino criminals a check. He said, I support H.R. 40. I mean, that's an easy response. to establish a committee to look into the subject. We might look into the subject for the next decade until these black people stop talking about it, until maybe something happens and then it'll just fade away because I'll no longer be in office. And if I do win the presidency, I support H.R. 40. You people look into it. I don't have time to look into it. And I'm not going to sign a bill or anything to give these darkies a reparations or anything like that. Hey, yeah, go ahead, look into it. You can look into it for my entire term if I win for 4 years. And then when I run again, I'll start the same thing up again. Hey, we're going to continue looking into it for the next 4 years if I win a second time. But how many of you think that they want to give you black Americans, African Americans, whatever you want to call yourself, how many of you believe that anybody sincerely wants to do anything for you? How many of you believe that? I mean, it's right here in your face. There cannot be a more clear contrast when it came to these criminals, these illegal immigrants. He said, absolutely, I want them to get financial compensation. As president, I want to sign a bill to give them financial compensation. He might as well have said, I want all of these black Americans to write a check out of their income and hand it over to these Latino immigrants who aren't even Americans, these illegal immigrants. Because we had the audacity, the temerity, the unmitigated gall to enforce our immigration laws and arrest them at the border. They should be compensated for being arrested while committing a crime. Are you kidding me? They should be compensated for the inconvenience of being arrested while they were committing a crime of trying to sneak into America unlawfully. How many of you have been arrested for an actual crime you committed, and then they felt because you were inconvenienced, any American that's arrested, you are separated from any children you have because the children don't get to come with you. If you're driving and you have your babies with you, and maybe it's just a speeding ticket, but when they run your driver's license, they find that you have outstanding warrants. You will be arrested and you will be separated from your children. Genius. It happens every single day, whether you're black, white, Asian, or anything else. You will be separated from your children when you commit a crime. But they're acting like it's such a big deal when it happens at the border. When we who are bona fide Americans, it happens to us well, it doesn't happen to me because I don't commit crimes. I don't get arrested. But for those of you who do, trust me. No, don't trust me. You know it already. it has probably happened to you. But they're trying to sell this narrative that this is such an egregious wrong if they're illegal immigrants, for them to be separated from their children. What the hell alternative do we have? But more importantly, they want to compensate them with our money. And maybe you don't care, because maybe you're just a societal leech yourself. But I have paid more in taxes than most of you, many of you, I'll say that, many of you have earned. And I do care, because that's my damn money. And I have a say in what happens with it. And you want to give it to these criminals. But when it comes to you Black Americans, bona fide, legitimate, authentic, born in the United States, citizens of the United States, they vacillate when it comes to you and any compensation for any wrongs that were done to you. 1 trillion times worse, generationally, than anything that ever happens at the border to these non-citizens. He supports studying, talking about it. What that means is, let me explain to you what that means. It means setting aside large pools of money, for political hacks to sit around and have conversations and take notes and have hearings about reparations and do this for years, make a career out of it. And you never see a benefit. Even if you never see a benefit, they're going to get a benefit. You're going to open up jobs for people to talk about reparations. We're going to talk about it. We're going to think about it. We're going to study it. That study may go on for decades. And they're going to keep funding it, because now it becomes somebody's job to talk about it. But when it comes to illegal immigrants, these criminals trying to sneak across the border, he wants to immediately write them a check. Biden's going to be next. His is even worse. And he's going to be the person that the majority of you Black American voters are going to vote for. I'm not saying this prophetically. I'm saying it factually. It's going to happen. I just know it. It always happens. You're not going to change. And they know it. That's why they don't give a damn about you or your vote. And just to prove it, Biden ignored the question about reparations for Black Americans. And he appealed to the voters he does care about. The me no speak English illegal immigrants who Barack Obama stated, and Hillary did too, he wants them, even though they're not citizens, to have the right to vote. And in California, they voted to give them driver's licenses. They were supposed to put a little mark on the driver's license that said not for voting, so that they could not go vote with it. But we made a mistake. We forgot to put it on there. Allowed hundreds of thousands of driver's licenses to be issued in the state of California. And now, because they did not put that mark on there saying not for voting, these illegal immigrant criminals, they get to vote. And who do you think they're going to vote for? The Democrats know that. They're going to vote for the people that want to give them all the free cheese and tacos and WIC programs and food stamps and housing and everything else. Free healthcare, free schooling, everything. Of course they're going to vote for them. They're the ones trying to make their lives easier. And it's not because they love them. It's because they need them. Because they got their ass kicked in the last election. They're going to get their ass kicked again. So they're doing everything they can to tilt the scale in their favor. But when it comes to you Black Americans, because you have always voted, not always, but you have voted Democratic and you're going to, with no proper vetting or caring about the details of the issues, they know that most of you didn't pay attention to this debate. The mainstream media is not going to highlight what I'm highlighting right now. You're not going to know about it. And even when people like me tell you about it, you're not going to care. You're going to take your black ass out there and vote Democrat again. Or you're not going to vote at all, and you're going to listen to the crackhead on the corner that tells you your vote doesn't count. Jeez. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up.
Wait for that commission to do its work, to do things that are reparative. Remember, we're not talking about a gift to anybody. We're talking about mending what was broken.
Would you compensate the descendants of slaves?
Generational theft of the wealth of generations.
platitudes, but the simple question was, do you support reparations for Black Americans? And he starts speaking these platitudes. He gets on a podium. Yes. He starts talking about, I support that. So wrong, but he never give these defendants of slaves financial compensation. He said, I support HR 40 to talk about it for years and have people that look like me being paid a high salary to talk about it and think about it and discuss it and listen to whatever. It might take a decade or two or whatever, at least, let's just talk about it for the entire 4 years that I am president. Of course, he's not going to be president. He's not going to be president. It's not going to happen. I mean, none of these people are. Nobody on this stage is going to be president ever. But he made his position very clear by not simply saying, yes, I do support that. All that they were asking to do was to say that you agree with it, that you think. I mean, what more? In other words, you don't have enough information yourself to determine of your own volition whether or not the descendants of people that were stolen and purchased as chattel property, treated as less than human, killed and raped at will, children snatched out of their mother's arms and sold like they were property. You don't know enough history to know whether or not there should be some compensation for Black Americans who have fought in every single war the United States has ever had. But you immediately say that these people who are criminals, who try to sneak into this country and ignore the law and break the law. When you have a person who commits a criminal act to come into this country, what makes you think that after they commit that criminal act, that they become model citizens? That's the only crime they're going to commit, is coming here illegally. They commit so many more crimes, whether they get caught for them or not. And we all know it. But anyway, let's get to Biden and I'll wrap this up. Because you people are making me sick, to be honest with you. By the fact that I even have to talk about this, I am disgusted.
Reparations of African Americans. And just crossing out a racist policy and replacing it with a neutral one is not enough to deliver equality. Harms compound, just like a dollar saved in its value compounds over time.
Yeah, we know all that, but
so does the value of a dollar stolen.
She asked you about financial compensation.
The United States must act immediately with investments in minority-owned businesses.
Investments in minority-owned businesses. Wow. How many of you Black business owners need the government to invest in your business? And more importantly, out of all of the Black Americans in the United States who are an indirect victim of chattel slavery in the United States, how many of you have a minority-owned business? They always talk about investment in minority-owned companies and maybe grants for students that are going into college and things like that. Things that are available to every single American already. But when it came to the Latinos, it was very specific: financial compensation. All he's talking about is things that are already available to you. It sounds good. It makes you feel good. But he's not talking about doing anything specifically and exclusively for Black Americans who are victims of slavery in America. That's what the reparations discussion is about. So he's giving you the feel-good platitudes that work on you and have worked on you for decades. You people buy into it. And some of them might say something that makes you clap, but they never do anything, and they don't intend to. Why? Because they don't have to. They don't have to. Like I said, I'm not advocating for or against anybody giving me a damn reparations check. Frankly, it's not something I need. That's not the point. We're talking about you Black Americans who are in love with the Democratic Party. You're like the mistress. You're like the mistress of a married man who fucks you whenever he gets ready to, and then goes back home to his wife. She's the one he's with every night. She's the one who he's putting a roof over her head. She's the one that has and bears his children. She's the one he made a commitment to. And she's the one he's going to stay with. While he's lying to your ass, because you're the mistress. You're the bidwench. You're the whore. That's what you are. You're the side piece. They fuck you when they get ready and then they go back home. And that's how you are to the Democratic Party. You African Americans. You're the side piece. You're the side piece that they don't have to do a damn thing for because they know that all they have to do is call you and you're going to show up. You're the booty call. You're going to show up every 4 years to vote for them like a booty call. They don't need to make a commitment to you or promise you anything. You're the bidwench, the side piece. And that's all you are.
With investments in health equity, with investments in HBCUs, and on the longer term, look at reparations so that we can mend what has been broken. Vice President.
On the longer term, yeah, let's do what we're already doing. Investments in HBCUs and all that. Historically black colleges. Let's do that. Let's invest in historically black colleges, even though we're already doing it. And Donald Trump is doing far more than Barack Obama did in that regard. But let's talk about business loans, small business loans for black businesses, even though small business loans are already available to black and white businesses or anybody else. Hey, let's talk about grant programs for different issues that black people can take advantage of, even though the grant programs are already there for blacks, whites, or anybody else that wants to take advantage of them. But when it comes to the exclusivity and the specificality of doing any damn thing in regards to black Americans, in regards to slavery or reparations, he vacillated completely. And he said, well, we can do these things that we're already doing to appease black Americans. They're so stupid. They're not going to, all we have to do is take something that already exists, put a different label on it and say, hey, this is for you. And they're going to be happy. It's like regifting. Regifting is when somebody gives you a gift and you take it next year and you unwrap it, you rewrap it, and you give it to somebody else. Or even worse, it's like living in a house with a family member, taking something that was already theirs or is already yours, but they could use it, and then say, this is what I'm giving you for Christmas. You have a microwave oven. There's only one in the house. And maybe you bought it because you need to use it, but you've got other family members who are in the same house. They need to use it too. They're already using it, but when Christmas comes or their birthday, you wrap up that microwave that was already there and you say, this is for you. And they're so happy because they don't pay attention to the fact that it's the same damn microwave that everybody's using. Everybody has always been using. And even though they say it's yours, it's actually everybody's. And it's really the one belongs to the one who gave it to you. That's just their way of not having to give you a real gift. Something that is specifically and exclusively for you. And that's exactly what the Democratic Party does. But anyway, we'll wrap this up. Biden's next.
President Biden, do you support reparations?
Well, I mean, since I haven't spoken on this.
Okay. President Biden, do you support reparations? He could have led in with, yes, I do. And then he could have gave whatever speech he wanted. Or he could have said, no, I don't. And then explain why. He could have done that. But he chose to do neither one. He pivots completely away from the question. He doesn't even address it. He is there running for president. He wants to be the Democratic nominee. He is trying to appeal to people that have nothing to do with the question that was just asked of him. He wants to appeal to the Latino population. He completely ignores the question, doesn't address it at all. He doesn't even address it, not even a tiny bit. Let me paraphrase what Joe Biden said when they asked him, do you support reparations for African Americans? I'm going to paraphrase what he said. Fuck those African Americans. They're going to vote for me no matter what I do or what I say because they are stupid. They are our mistress, the whore that will always be there to get fucked whenever we call them. I need to appeal to the Latino population, the illegal immigrants, the ones who aren't even American citizens, have never fought in any American war, not the group of people that have fought in every war and they're so damn stupid that they've been our mistress forever. I don't need to appeal to them. They're not important. That's basically what he was saying to you, Black Americans. Now listen to him in his own words. Pivot away from the question. He's not even going to address it.
Got a chance? Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 out of every 100 children in our school today is Hispanic. The idea...
You see that? The people who come here are resilient. They're willing to work. In other words, I don't want to talk about the people that are already here. The people that were brought over here as slaves. I want to talk about the people who come here illegally. The Hispanics. I don't give a damn about these Black Americans. They are dumb as a bag of rocks. They're going to vote for my ass no matter what, just because I'm a Democrat. Hey, I was the vice president under the first Black president, Barack Obama.